Okay, guys, today inshallah we're gonna start to revise the material of term 2 because 10% of the exam will be will cover the material of quarter 2. So let's remember our lessons. First, we talk about mineral, then properties of the mineral, then the rock cycle, and then the three different types of rocks. Let's start by the first worksheet. Which of the following is not a characteristics of a mineral? What of these is not a characteristic of a mineral? So who could answer the question? Yes, Ali?
B.
B, it's a living material. Of course, mineral is not a living material. So we said that mineral is solid, inorganic. Inorganic means it's not formed in a living organism. And also it has naturally produced and has a certain chemical composition and crystalline structure. Then question 2, what are the two major groups of minerals? We classify the minerals mainly into two major categories, which are, yes, Judy?
A.
No.
يبقى C.
C, silicate and non-silicate. So we said that according to the chemical structure, we classify minerals generally into silicate and non-silicate. We said that silicate, they are the minerals that contain silicon and oxygen in their combination. That means their combination must contain both silicon and oxygen. While non-silicate, they are the minerals which doesn't have silicon in their composition. They may contain oxygen, but they never contain silicon. You get this idea? Okay, the groups silicate and non-silicate minerals are based on, yes, Hana Hamdi?
C.
C, chemical composition, as we just said. Good. Question 4, a silicate mineral must contain, we just said, Hana Drogam?
A.
A, good. Silicon and oxygen. Good. Non-silicate minerals. Okay, so what non-silicate minerals? Who can answer this? Okay, so let's find. Yes, Kinsey?
B.
B, good. Include native elements. Good, okay. So this one is very important because most students, they make a mistake and say do not contain oxygen. Actually, we said no. So non-silicate, they could contain oxygen. There is actually a subgroup of non-silicate minerals called oxides. Do you remember, guys? So oxygen could found in non-silicate minerals, but here non-silicate minerals include the native elements. Good. Question number 6. The color of the powder that mineral leaves on a piece of white unglazed porcelain is called the mineral. Yes, Reem?
C.
C, streak. Good. Okay. So we said that that's one of the ways that we could identify a mineral. Okay. And we said that actually the streak is more reliable than color because the streak, it's just how the color or the internal color is, while the color is not that reliable because many minerals have the same color, or maybe the same mineral has different colors due to the different impurities that we found in its structure. Question 7, which of the following is not a true mineral, or which of this is not true of mineral? Okay, Fadia?
C.
Not true, not true. Not true.
No, inorganic.
Inorganic, that means it's not, yeah, organic, it's not organic, that means inorganic. So the mineral actually is inorganic.
لا يا مستر mineral is organic.
Mineral is organic how?
لا
inorganic. The mineral is inorganic. The first question already we answered that, which is not a characteristic of mineral. It is a living material. It's not a living material. It's inorganic. Cannot be formed in a living organism. As we said, could we consider coal a mineral?
Mr.
Coal is
voice
not a mineral.
keeps cutting off.
That's maybe because of an internet connection. So here, guys, again, we said that as we said, coal, could we consider coal as a mineral? We said no, because coal actually it's an organic material, so it cannot be considered as a mineral. Do you remember this, guys?
Yes.
So here, what of?
But
So,
I remember we said that.
I can tell you, Fadia.
Okay, but they're A.
A, they are liquids. Yes, all minerals must be in solid state or they are solid, so they cannot be liquids. Which of the following is not a class of non-silicate mineral? What of these not considered to be an unsilicate mineral? Okay. Yes, Nano?
Micas.
Micas. Okay, that's one of the silicate minerals. Good. Then question 9. Halides form when fluorine, chlorine, iodine, or bromine combine with any of the following elements except. So halides could react any one of these except what? Okay, let's find. Is Judy? Judy escaped. Okay. So
Okay.
try. Just
Hello.
try. Just try. Okay.
Okay. Sodium.
No.
Okay.
So get
Oxygen.
yes, good oxygen. Okay. Actually, guys, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, regarding to what we studied in quarter 3, you could find that they are non-metals. Okay, so they're supposed to react with some metals. Okay, so calcium, potassium, sodium, they are metal, can combine with fluorine, chlorine, iodine, or some of these. While oxygen is non-metal, so these two non-metals, they cannot combine together, or even once they combine together, they are gonna form oxides. Okay, not halides. So halides, it happens when the halogens like fluorine, chlorine, iodine, and bromine react with some metals like sodium, potassium, and calcium. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So question number 10. A repeating pattern of atoms, ions, or molecules in a mineral is called the fixed arrangement in which the atoms or the ions they are arranged to give specific characteristics of a mineral. We call this. Okay. Yeah. What about the others, guys? Could you share us? Yusuf, Farah, Osama. Okay.
Yes, Miss.
So just share us what you are just listener. Adam.
لا
So just try to share. Even you make a mistakes, no problem. We're just revising.
سي
See crystalline structure. Okay. So if you know the answer, why you didn't raise your
أنا
hand?
عارف بس ما ارفعش ايدي بس عادي.
Well, you just share because it's very important to share in the session. Okay. So crystalline structure. So like this, we just revise the first lesson. Okay, about the minerals and their characteristics. So then we'll pass to the next lesson here. So which of the following not true of metallic minerals? What of this is not true about metallic minerals? Yes,
مستر هو
Maya?
I have a question.
Yep.
هو lesson واحد اللي هيجي ولا احنا هنذاكر كله؟
No, just all the sheets. You're gonna revise all the sheets. They're just for worksheets, okay? So whatever any questions could be out of this sheet.
Okay.
So here, which of the following is not true of metallic minerals? Yes, Maya?
C.
See, they do not let light pass through them, okay? So here, okay, sorry.
Mister, I think this is B.
What? No,
I think there's B.
no, it's C. Okay, here we said that what is not true of metallic. So we said that the metallic minerals, okay, here they do not conduct heat. No, they are metallic, they could conduct heat and electricity, and they have shiny surfaces, and they can be perceived into metals that do not, sorry, they got, it said, so not true. So do not let light pass, because as we know, most metallic, they are already reflected the light, so they don't allow light to pass, but they reflected, that's why they have the shiny surfaces. Do you remember the luster? We said the luster could be metallic, submetallic. You get idea? Or not dull, that means no luster. Do you remember these guys?
Yes.
Okay, so here as they are,
they conduct heat.
they conduct heat. Sorry, yep, sorry, they not, yeah,
They-
good, sorry. Yes,
Mister,
good
I
guys.
said B.
Yeah, good, sorry, I just read it again in different ways. You're right, yes. Don't conduct heat well, okay, that's not true, so I don't get this not, okay, good. So they don't conduct heat well, good, Kinsey, because as we know, metals, of course, they conduct heat and electricity. So question number 2, which mineral is the most resistant to scratching? The most strongest mineral ever? Yes, Hannah Hamdi?
C, diamond.
C, diamond, good. Okay, it's number 10 in the most scale. Okay, represent the hardest mineral. Good. Beside air and water, what can it change the color of a mineral? What could it change the color of a mineral beside air and water? Yes, Khadija?
G.
The impurities, which mean the different kinds of matter that could be involved or just mixed with the structure of the mineral. So it will cause that change in its color. Which of the following is not a type of luster? What of this is not a type of luster? Okay, so yes, Ali.
C.
See, super metallic. We don't have called super metallic. We just could be metallic or submetallic or non-metallic. Okay, so then question number 5: on what type of surface does a fracture happen? Yes, Adam.
B.
So do you go good? Okay, P. We have something called fracture and cleavage. Do you remember these guys? We said that one of the
Yes.
characteristics that could we differentiate mineral on the cleavage and fracture. We said cleavage, that's once the mineral could separate into sheets or could separate into flat surfaces, while fractures it happen when we have irregular surfaces, that mean curved surfaces. Good. So question number 6: what is the softest mineral on the Mohs scale? Number 1 is, okay, so let's find here who can answer this question. Yes, Rashwan.
Talc.
Talc,
D.
good. Okay, so talc, that's the weakest mineral or the softest one. It could be scratched by any other mineral. So question number 7: what is the color of the mineral in powder form called? We answered this question before, just to remember. Yes, Isel.
C.
C3, good. Okay, so like this, guys. Okay, we just remember, okay, the most important properties of mineral. Okay, so any hard question till that moment, guys?
No.
Mister, I have a question.
Yes, of course.
What's the meaning of impurities?
Impurities, that means the impurity. Okay, like when you, for example, when you have a cup of water. Okay, so just cup of water represented, that's a pure substance, or it's a substance, just pure. But if with something, okay, is added to this water, it will be pure.
What kind of something?
Whatever, anything is added. For example, if you have a dish of rice, okay, so that's just rice, it's one substance only. But if you added something to it, okay, it will not be pure, it will be a mixture. Yes or
Yes.
no?
Oh, yes.
Yep. So here, during the formation of the mineral, suppose that has a specific chemical composition and that produce a certain crystal. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yep. Sometimes some atoms of different elements will involve in the structure of the mineral. So that lead these different atoms which are added and supposed not to be found in the structure of the mineral. We call them impurities. Good idea?
Oh, okay.
So
Yes.
these impurities could affect the color of the mineral because they are new substances are added to the structure of the mineral, and suppose they are not found. As we said, for example, quartz supposed to be SiO2, that's the structure of quartz, but sometimes may the quartz include other minerals in its structure, include other material in its structure, which cause the quartz to have different colors. Okay, is it clear?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So in
Mr.
yes.
هو ايه عكس fracture؟
Cleavage, it's not the opposite, different type of breaking down of mineral. Cleavage and fracture. Cleavage and
تمام.
fracture. Do you remember? Cleavage happen on a flat, smooth surfaces, while fracture happen on rough and irregular surfaces. Okay. So
Okay, thank you.
anyone still miss any part in these two lessons, or something is not clear regarding to what we answered? Guys, do you need to ask about anything about what we just answered?
Mister, I have a question.
Yes, Hannah.
Mister, okay, the metallic and the submetallic and the non-metallic. I don't
Yes, we
remember
said
them.
that, yeah, we called one of the properties that we could determine or that we could identify the mineral on something with the luster. So we said that what is a luster? We said that how much the mineral is able to reflect the sunlight. Okay, sorry, the light generally. Once the light falls on the mineral, does all the light reflect, or some, or part, or doesn't reflect at all? So the minerals which reflect most of the light, we call them, they have a metallic luster. Okay, like for example the gold and different minerals. Okay, or metals, they are shiny, they could reflect the light. Okay, so we call them, they have a metallic luster. Some of them, they just have a submetallic luster. That means they are shiny, but not that much. They just allow some of the light to be reflected while the other amount of the light is absorbed. So we call them submetallic luster. While the non-metallic minerals, okay, they absorb all the light approximately, or they absorb the majority of the light and just reflect very, very little amount. So they appear dull or not shiny. So we call them non-metallic cluster. You got the idea?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So any other question, guys, here? Any question regarding this part? Everything's clear?
Yes, you must.
Okay, so then let's pass to here the worksheet three. So we're gonna talk about which of the following is not rock, which of the following rock is not normally used as a construction material. So what the kind of that rock that it cannot be used as a construction material? Let's find who can answer this question. Yes, Khadija.
B.
B, halide, good, because we know halide that the table salt. Okay, that's one type of the chemical sedimentary rocks that form it because of the evaporation of water in high salinity solutions. Okay, so once they evaporate, the salt start to deposit and it will accumulate together, forming the rock halides. Of course, I cannot these in construction, while granite, limestone, and marble they already used in making or in instructions. Okay, marble is a metamorphic rock. Limestone is a sedimentary rock, but actually it is solid enough to be used in making building and constructions. We know that the rocks which build the pyramids actually made of limestone. Granite, of course, that is an igneous rock which is very, very solid and it's used in construction purposes. So question number 2, which of the following processes change a rock on Earth's surface? Okay, so what of these processes could happen on the Earth's surface and that change rock on Earth's surface? Yes, Nano?
Erosion.
Erosion, good. Okay, so we say that erosion, it means the removing of the surface, okay, or the removing of the upper layer of the rocks, okay. After weathering, the surface area or these small sediments will be eroded. That means they are going to be moved from place to another. Then here, question number 3, when sedimentary rock is exposed to a heat and pressure, what does it change into? We said whatever the kind of rock, when it exposed into extreme heat and temperature, it will change into. Okay, other guys, please share us. Jana, Maya, Hannah Magdi. Okay, Farah, please share us. Okay, Hala, yes?
Magma.
No. Here, heat and pressure, what is gonna happen? Okay, we said that once they melt, they will change into magma. But any kind of rock that exposed to a heat and pressure, it will change into, yes, Farah?
Yes,
D.
The metamorphic rock, good. So here, guys, let's remember we said that in rock cycle, in a rock could change into other type of rock depending on what are the conditions in which the rock is gonna be exposed. So we said that whatever the kind of rock, igneous or metamorphic or sedimentary, once it exposed to extreme heat and pressure, it will change into metamorphic rock. And whatever the type of the rock, if it just exposed to extreme heat that cause it to melt, it will turn into magma. Once magma solidify, it will turn into igneous rock. Whatever the kind of rock that exposed to weathering, erosion, deposition, compaction, and cementation, that will form a sedimentary rock. So like this, we said that in the rock cycle, it doesn't have a specific direction to move in, but it could move in any direction. That means any kind of rock could change to other types of rocks based on what conditions they are gonna expose to. Is it clear here, guys? Do you remember this?
Yes.
Or do you need to explain it more?
Yes.
Need to explain it more, Fadia? Or it's clear?
No, I said I'm
You said what?
clear.
Clear, okay. So like
It's
this, okay,
clear. It's
okay, let's pass to the next question, question number 4. Scientists classify rocks based on, we classify rocks based on what? Okay, Adam, yes?
A.
A, good. We classify rocks based on their composition and texture. Okay, so as we said,
Mister, I
Yep.
have in number 2.
Yep,
How to be erosion?
Yep.
It should be D.
D, cementation.
Yes, processes.
What the meaning of processes? Yes. Which of
it
the
should be
following?
D.
No, which of the following processes? All these are processes. Metamorphism is a process. Erosion is a process. Compaction is a process, and cementation is a process. So he asking what of these processes could it change the rock from day? Okay, it's erosion. You get the idea?
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Cementation, that the last step happened to form a sedimentary rock or a clastic sedimentary rock. We're studying clastic sedimentary rock, the sediments which are the small pieces that are already formed from weathering and then erosion and then transferred and deposited in a certain place. They start to cement together by certain materials, okay, that is gonna stick, make them stick to each other. So cementation doesn't change the shape of the rock, it is the last step of formation of new rock. But actually weathering and erosion, they are the main processes, deposition, they are the main processes that could change one rock to another type. You get the idea?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So any hard question till this point, guys? So the last question, and then we're gonna continue next time. Which of the following are ways magma is formed? You see that magma could be formed by what? Which of these ways? Anyone can tell me? Let's find who can answer. Yes, Reem.
By melting and cooling.
Cooling that will form magma?
No, melting and cooling. Yeah.
No, melting.
Yes.
Melting may form magma, but of course cooling will not form magma. Okay. So we said that change in composition. Do you remember this, guys? Anyone can tell me what are the three different or the three ways that could cause magma to be formed?
Or release of tectonic plates.
Yeah, release of pressure. Yes. So we said that the release of pressure, change in composition, and melting. There are three different techniques could use magma to be formed. So let's remember them together, guys. First of all, melting, that's something expected, and we know it, that whatever the kind of rock wants it exposed to extreme temperature, which enough to melt the minerals found in that rock, so the rock will turn to be a magma. But let's talk about the change in composition and releasing temperature, which said that each rock has a certain composition of rocks. So during metamorphism, while the rock change, okay, so its chemical structure may change. So the minerals or the new minerals that will be found in rock may cause this rock to melt at lower melting point in a state. For example, the rock supposed to be melt at 3000 degrees Celsius. But once the change happen in the structure of the rock, it may melt at 500 degrees. So that means at a low temperature, it could be enough to melt this, so magma will be formed. Do you remember this, Ring?
Oh, yes.
Okay, the third way, releasing of pressure.
Don't worry.
Okay, the third way, which is releasing of pressure, okay, as Nano said, we said that suppose that under pressure, gas could turn into liquid, and liquid under pressure may turn into solid. So under high pressure, the particles are tightly packed to each other, which make them in a solid state. Once the pressure release, okay, so the particles start to move further from each other, which means some already hot rocks, which are found in solid state because of the higher pressure above it. Once the pressure is released due to the movement of the tectonic plates, that means there is no more rocks above these types of rocks. So the rocks start to melt easier, okay? And in that case, okay, that will form a magma. So do you remember this part, guys? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna stop at this point. You could, okay, please just read this lesson one more time from your textbook. Just remember this. If you don't have the textbook, okay, you may, or the electronic form that you have in your tablet. If you don't have it, you can check the SMS. You're gonna find the PowerPoint presentation is already uploaded in term 2. So like this, you just refresh your mind to remember the answer of the following questions. Next time, inshallah, we're gonna continue together. If you have any question or something not clear, I'm waiting for your questions. So do you want to ask anything before end our meeting, guys?
No, thank you.
Everything is clear?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.